unpredictable.
The greatest ever has been bested.
It's edge of your seat excitement.
25,000 fans have been screaming all night long.
It's the greatest 8 seconds in sports.
He gets the points, and he takes the hits.
That's you, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, what you saw going on in that screen is going to be going on here in New York City at Madison Square Garden from Friday to Sunday, the 16th through the 18th. And one of the participants is sitting right here with me. I got to say, he almost fell off the chair. He could ride a bull, but he almost fell off one of our chairs. Matt Triplett, good to see you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, I mean, this is, to me, mind-boggling. It's like 8 seconds, right?
It is, correct.
And all the training and the preparation and everything that goes into it. First of all, what got you into this?
You know, I grew up on a little farm in Montana. My dad rode bulls, and he's been my hero all my life. I've looked up to him and just wanted to follow in his footsteps, so he showed me the ropes, and now I'm living my dream.
And how do you go about it? What's the first step in you know, becoming a pro as you...
You know, I started riding steers, and I worked my way to junior bulls, and I did a high school rodeo, and then I just, as soon as I turned 18, I bought my PBR card, and I hit the road, and you know, the story's then on.
And you're looking, of course, to become the world champion. You have
Yes,
won, you know, titles along the way. You have a belt on that the people can't see right now that is a championship belt. So the ultimate goal is to become the world champion of the sport.
Yep, the best in the world, and that's what I tried to work for every year, and hopefully this year I can get it.
And why do you think it resonates? Why do you think so many people fill Madison Square Garden here in New York City, where there are no bulls, you know, and most of the people are city folk? Why do you think they're so fascinated by this sport all over the country, all over the world?
You know, it's just such an action-packed sport. You're going to go there, you're going to see the fireworks, you're going to see, it's like going to a rock show. You're going to see Flip Rasmussen. He's a funny man. He's really funny. He's great. You're going to see, you know, the top 35 bull riders, and you're going to see the top bulls in the world, and we get thrown around. We get thrown high in the air. We land bad. You know, you'll see us get wrecked out, and you're going to see some of the best rides in the world. So, I mean, it's a great show.
How hurt have you ever gotten?
You know, I've been really lucky, knock on wood. I've had a couple concussions. I broke my thumb, and I broke my ankle.
And that's considered lucky in this business.
Yeah, that is, definitely. My buddy LJ, he's punctured lungs, broke ribs. He's been through it all.
Am I right that Bushwhacker is considered like to be the best bull of all time?
Yeah, he's the Michael Jordan of bulls.
Michael Jordan, and he's just retired.
Yeah, he retired last year.
Did you ever ride this bull?
I never had the chance to get on him.
And what makes him what makes a bull? Now we're not talking about the rider. What makes a bull the Michael Jordan of the sport as far as bulls go?
When it comes to a bull like that, he's so powerful, he's so strong, and you know, some of the bulls have the same trip. This bull, he never has the same trip. He's going to kick over his head, he's going to go a different way, and he's just tremendously hard to stay on.
Yeah, I just can't imagine. Most people know many of the best bull riders are Brazilian.
They are,
right?
Yep.
And why is that? And how big an advantage do they have in events like this and trying to, you know, and when it comes to the World Championship?
You know, I think they come from Brazil, where they don't come from money. They come from, you know, dirt floors, and they want to work as hard as they can to get a lot of money and retire as soon as they can. So these guys come in really hungry, really determined, and you know, they're driven to win.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So, have you ever met a bull rider who is not from in this country, who's from this country that is not from Montana or the Midwest, or you know, somewhere where I mean, there's very few, I guess, that are from California or from New York or Florida, let's say.
Yeah,
right?
There's not as many. There's a couple from, you know, California, but they really Texas, North Carolina, Montana, just. Yeah, places like that, Kansas City.
So what's your schedule like? What's the season? I mean, you're in New York this weekend, and then where'd you just come from, and where are you going next after that?
Yeah, we're going to Oklahoma City next weekend. We just came from Baltimore, and then Baltimore is the first one. And then last weekend, I don't know why, I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, we go to 27 events, and it's just a tremendous season.
And that's 27 events in the span of a couple of months or so? Or
we go in October is when it ends.
Okay.
We have a summer break of 2 months, but we
Gotcha.
can go to like minor league events, just the touring pros.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And what kind of money do the you know, what kind of I mean, you live a comfortable lifestyle right now?
I do. This weekend, if I was to win, I'd win about 40,000.
Ah, all right.
So
and the
bad.
world champion makes
$1 million.
$1 million.
If he wins the world, that's not all. He'd probably make, you know, I think Silvano last year made $1 million.
Wow.
$350,000.
And that's each year the world
Yeah.
champion makes that kind of money.
He does.
I wish you good luck and
Oh,
good
thank
health.
you.
Thank you
Thanks
for
for
coming
having
on.
me today.
It's always fascinates me, folks, because being from New York, it was baseball, hockey, football, basketball, that kind of stuff. But it's a fascinating sport, and you should check it out if you're in the New York area at Madison Square Garden this Friday through Sunday. We'll be back with columnist for the UK Daily Telegraph, Tom Rogan, after the break. But first, the movement for prohibition started out of concern over the adverse effects of alcohol. The movement did not prove to be very effective, of course, or popular, and came to an end in 1933. Let's take a look back at that with this American moment. Don't go away. It's next on Newsmax Television.
It was intended to take the roar out of America's roaring 20s, but instead its passage divided the nation and began an era of bootleggers, speakeasies, and rum-running gangsters. When ratified in 1919, the 18th Amendment to the Constitution outlawed the manufacturing, transportation, and sale of intoxicating liquors. Consequently, organized crime was quick to step up and quench the thirst of an eager nation. The Volstead Act gave federal agencies the legal authority to enforce prohibition, but with an average of only 30 enforcement agents per state, the illegal liquor flowed freely. By 1925, in New York City alone, authorities estimated over 100,000 illegal bars were thriving, with customers consisting of friends, neighbors, and lawmakers alike. Still, some law enforcement became famous fighting the booze trade. One was Elliot Ness. As a top agent of the Bureau of Prohibition, Ness led a team of men known as the Untouchables. Tough and incorruptible, they brought down Chicago bootlegger and mobster Al Capone. But bowing to public pressure, in his 1932 presidential campaign, Franklin Roosevelt endorsed the repeal of prohibition. It was later reported, with the Depression in full swing and national morale at rock bottom, then President Roosevelt remarked, "I think we could all do with a beer." With the passage of the 21st Amendment on December 5, 1933, prohibition was officially repealed, making the 18th Amendment the only amendment in the U.S. Constitution repealed by the passage of another. Still, even with the repeal of prohibition, many states chose to remain dry, the longest running of which was Mississippi, who didn't repeal their self-imposed prohibition until 1966. For Newsmax TV, I'm Bill Curtis, and this is an American Moment.